Good afternoon to everyone. I will also explain about the all unique and interesting phenomena also related to the physical world. But today I shall also explain about the some famous and popular scientists or physicists in India and the world. Then firstly I shall also begin number first about the Alfred Nobel. Firstly I shall also draw the column. Name of scientist. Next, native country. Discovery or contribution of scientist. Discovery or contribution. Firstly, I shall explain about the Alfred Nobel. First scientist whose name was Alfred Nobel. His native country or native land was Sweden, and he discovered dynamite the first time in the world. Dynamite. Any teacher, any teacher who also only explain about the what is the name of scientist and what are the contribution, what was his or her discovery. But I shall explain you the name of discovery and the name of that scientist, native country, as well as what were the extraordinary contribution of that scientist in this way. Then I shall explain to you about the Alfred Nobel. Who was Alfred Nobel? Alfred Nobel was a scientist of Sweden. He was a popular scientist at the time. It means in 1900. He discovered the dynamite. You know what is dynamite? Dynamite is a kind of explosive by which we can explode any hills, mountains or any buildings at any time. Where gelatin rod and etc. the various chemicals may be also included here. It means dynamite is a kind of explosive. As you know, the name of other explosive is what? RDX. As well as dynamite is also explosive. When the first time, when Alfred Nobel, who also discovered the dynamite, then he also sold the dynamite in the whole world. He gained a lot of money and he also deposited the whole money in World Bank. Then after the name of Alfred Nobel, the Nobel Prize also began from 1900 when he discovered the dynamite. On the honor of Alfred Nobel, Nobel Prize has begun at that time. It means from 1900. Alfred Nobel was the unique scientist who discovered dynamite and who also contributed to the whole world. And he also sold a lot of this explosive. Hence, the origin The beginning of Nobel Prize will be also begin from the honor of Alfred Nobel. Next, I will also explain about the next scientist, C.D. Anderson. Name of next scientist is what? C.D. Anderson, who was the American scientist, United States of America, USA. America. He was American scientist who firstly discovered about the positron. Positron. What is positron? I will also explain in shortly about the positron. In next video, but I will also explain in details about the positron. Positron was discovered by the C.D. Anderson, who was the American scientist. And positron means what? Positron means positive electron. Means those electrons which also contain the positive charge, means its charge content to be 1 plus 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. It is the SI unit of charge, coulomb. But its serious unit of charge is what? ESU, electrostatic unit. I have also explained about the positron. It also present inside our nucleons. It means in the nucleus of an atom. Nucleus of an atom, this positron present there. You know, negatively charged electron revolve around the nucleus where the proton and neutrons already present there in the nucleus or in nucleons. But electron, negatively charged electron, which also revolve around the nucleus in a circular orbit. You know how electron continuously revolve around the nucleus. Electrons revolve around the nucleus in a circular orbit. What is the reason? The electrons and partial nucleus originate an electrostatic force. And due to origin of this electrostatic force, another force also created, said to be centripetal force as well as centrifugal force. Both forces are equal in magnitude but different in direction. It means the origin of centripetal and centrifugal force is only due to the presence of electrostatic force in between negatively charged electron and positively charged nucleus. Hence, electron always revolve around the nucleus in a circular orbit. It can neither escape out to left their orbit nor it can fall down in the nucleus. It is only due to the presence of centripetal and centrifugal force. But another phenomenon is what? Why atom is said to be neutral? Because the number of electrons present in the nucleus is just equal to the number of protons inside the nucleus. The number of electrons present in the atom around the nucleus in a circular orbit is just equal to the number of protons inside the nucleus. Both nuclei to each other, hence all atom has the zero charge. Hence atom is said to be neutral. It means positron, it was discovered by C.D. Anderson. At that case, when this phenomena was originated the first time about the pair production and pair emission of 2 gamma photons. I have also explained it. 2 gamma photon is the form of energy, while positron and electron is the form of matter. It contains the mass particle. It is said to be mass particle. It means positron, when positron and electron combine to each other to form 2 gamma photon, means both are mass. It means mass converted into energy, but very small scale, in within few microseconds. But this energy reconverted into mass by the pair annihilation of what? 2 gamma photons. When two gamma proton is split up into positron and electron, it is said to be the conversion of energy into mass. It means mass converting to energy, energy converted to mass. It is an important process in the whole earth at the globe level. But it is our scientists who only prove that mass can also convert into energy. Suppose that you take 100 gram of coal, you also burn it, it convert into heat and light energy. Means not convert into heat and light energy. But our earth scientists who cannot convert the energy again into what? Mass. It is not possible on earth. But it is only possible, I have also told you, it is only possible on X planet where the UFO also come to the earth. Unidentified flying object, Udan Tastari, it is said to in Hindi. It also come to the earth at that planet. This formula is possible, this procedure is possible at that planet. But it is not possible at the large scale on earth. It is about the contribution of C.D. Anderson about the positron. Next, A. Hayward. He was the English scientist. A. Hayward. He was the citizen of England, means he was English scientist, and he firstly discovered about the pulsars. Pulsars. You know to separate with the pulsar. What is pulsar? Perhaps you don't know about pulsar. Pulsar is said to be what? Pulsar was firstly discovered by A. Hayward. He was the English scientist. What is the means of pulsar? Pulsar means pulsating waves. Pulsating waves mean those celestial object, heavenly object, who also send some electromagnetic waves in the form of pulsar in the different direction as well as our earth. These waves which also emitted, radiated by that celestial object, it is said to be pulsar. Due to sending this pulsar by this celestial object, we can detect, we can trace out the all heavenly object who send me the pulsar. Such as example, neutron star. What is neutron star? But you know about neutron star? I shall also explain this some phenomena about the death and origin of a star. How a star can birth in the universe and how they can die. It means death and birth of stars is also correlated to the neutron stars and black holes. It means our sun also passed to the age of maturity. It means he can also pass the half age. After the 3000 million years, our sun also converted into black hole. Why? It is this phenomenon is said to be the death of stars. It means all stars, when the stars forms by the raw material of the death of stars, and they form to create the protostars. When the protostars glows, they form the mature stars. And these stars are suffer to death. What happened? When these stars, after the maturity, when they have to suffer to the old age, then it will be suffer to death. And it is said to be death of star. When our sun will be suffer to death at that time, after the billions of years. Then what happened? The outer corona of sun will be expanded by the higher speed. And he can engulf Mercury, Earth and Venus, all these three planets. And the core of sun will be shrink and also converted into the concentric center. It means the core of sun or any star, it also shrink and convert into the concentric center. Then after this stage is said to be red giant stage of the death of a star. Then after this stage, next stage is said to be white dwarf star. And what is the white dwarf star? White dwarf star is the second stage of what? Red giant phase. In this condition, when the mass of sun or mass of any star, it is just equal to the mass of sun or more than the mass of sun, then this white star is converted into supernova explosion. And after the supernova explosion, that star means the core of that star, it will be converted into the neutron star. And then after neutron star, it will be converted again into the black hole. You know about black hole? In Hindi it is said to be Krishna Chitra. It was firstly discovered by S. Chandrasekhar. He was an Indian scientist, Subramanian Chandrasekhar. But he discovered at that time when he was a student in India. He mathematically proved that about the black hole, but all the top astronomers of the USA who laughed on the S. Chandrasekhar and threw the theory in the dustbin. But in 1987, when the two American scientists also detected to the black hole mean date of a star, the supernova explosion. At that condition, they detect the largest telescope of the world. It is said to be a radio telescope. And he detected by the naked eye by means of telescope, radio telescope. Then thrice person, mean two American scientists and S. Chandrasekhar awarded by Nobel Prize in discovery of black hole. What is black hole? Black hole is said to be one-way traffic. It means when you send the laser beam, any light, it can never return back after the reflection. The center of black hole also absorb to this light beam. It may be either laser or any light beam. Hence it is said to be one-way traffic. Suppose that our Earth, any natural satellite, meteor, meteorites, comets, any celestial object, when it enter suddenly into the black hole, they can never return back to their original position. You can imagine that you take 1 centimeter length, 1 centimeter breadth, 1 centimeter height, a small cubical box. You can assume that you can take the mass of that black hole, that little box, cubical box contain to be 1 million ton of the mass. You know, the largest unit of length is parsec, per electric second, and 1 parsec is equal to 3.26 light year or approx 3.3 light years. And what is light year? When the light travel in vacuum in 1 year is said to be 1 light year. And what is the value of 1 light year? 9.46 into 10 power 15 meter is the value of 1 light year in SI system. But parsec is the largest unit in comparison to light year because 1 parsec means 1 per electric second is equal to 3.26 into 10 power 3.26 light years. And 1 light year is equal to 9.46 into 10 power 15 meters. But what is the largest unit of mass? It is said to be, on the honor of S. Chandrasekhar, Subramanian Chandrasekhar, it is said to be Chandrasekhar limit. CSL, 1 CSL, 1 Chandrasekhar limit is equal to 1.4 times of the mass of sun. And what is the mass of sun? 10 power 30 kilogram. In mean you can also put up the 30 0 onward the 1. In order of magnitude you can say to be 10 power 30 kilogram. It is the largest unit. Chandrasekhar limit is the largest unit of mass. It means it is said, I have said and provide the various information when I have also explained about the pulsar. These are the related topics I have also told you. I shall also explain about the name of scientists and their discovery, and also provide the contribution and the historical background, how many discoveries they have also discovered. Then after this, the pulsar, I have also explained about the what? I shall also explain about the Ampere. You know about the Ampere. Who was Ampere? Ampere was the French scientist. Number 4, about the Ampere. Who was Ampere? He was the French scientist. It means he was a citizen of France. He discovered the phenomenon of magnetism. Magnetism. Magnetism means what? Due to electric current. Magnetism due to electric current. Magnetism due to electric current, he also firstly discovered by the Ampere. He was a French citizen. And what is the phenomena about the, firstly you know, Ampere, what is Ampere? Ampere, the firstly Ampere, the name of scientist, was the citizen of France. But Ampere also the unit of electric current. Ampere the SI unit of electric current, while ESU, electrostatic unit, means CS unit of electric current is what? Stat ampere. SI unit is ampere and stat unit is said to be CS unit is said to be stat ampere. It is the little unit comparison to the ampere. Ampere firstly discovered the phenomenon of magnetism by means of electricity, by means of passing electric current through the electric wire. His experiment partly done. He also take the electric wire. He also connected the galvanometer and he also joined to the battery DC sources. Then after when he also closed the key, when switch on, then what happened? He see that the magnetic compass show the deflection near the electric conducting wire. Then he firstly observed that when any current carrying wire, it means we also carry the current, electric current from that wire. It contains the property of magnetism. So that magnetic compass will be also show deflection near the electric carrying wire. This phenomena also belong to the Ampere, means magnetism due to electric current. It was firstly observed by what? Observed by the which scientist? Observed by the Ampere. Next, name of next scientist, I also explain about the next scientist. The name of that scientist. By that I can also explain about that scientist. He was a famous scientist. Archimedes. You know about the name of Archimedes. Archimedes he was Greek scientist. Archimedes was the Greek scientist. Greece, same thing. Greek scientist. He also firstly discovered the principle of buoyancy. Principle of buoyancy, principle of lever, and Archimedes principle. Archimedes principle. He firstly discovered to all these phenomena, all these principles. I will also firstly explain about the Archimedes principle or principle of buoyancy. Firstly explain to it. Archimedes, but I shall explain to this phenomena, buoyancy or Archimedes principle. I shall also explain about some historical background of Archimedes. When Archimedes, once upon a time, when Archimedes moved to the pond in Greece, They're all friends who are also both in that pond. They jumping in that pond also come out the water surface, as well as Arvind also jump into that pond. He also come out from the water surface. Again he also jumped, also tried to dive, tried to jump in that pond. He also comes back at the surface of water. Then he comes out the pond. He quickly run toward the kingdom of that king. It means the kingdom of Greece. And he also he crying a slogan, Eureka, Eureka, Eureka. Means in Indian language you can send to it, Pa gaya, Pa gaya, Pa gaya. What is Eureka? Means he also got in some new things. He had got in some new things. It is said to be Eureka in Greek words. Then that king of Greek, who also honored to Archimedes for this discovery, mean discovery of Archimedes principle. And what is this principle? What is principle of buoyancy? Buoyancy means drag force when in any object which can dip into water. A special kinds of force which also push upward. It also provides the up force in the water. This force is said to be what? It is said to be buoyancy force. And the principle also based on this force, which also given by Archimedes, it is said to be principle of buoyancy. But next, Archimedes principle is what? Both are similar, but slightly different. Archimedes principle is what? Listen, when any object we also dipped into the water, it shows the loss of weight, and it also just equal to the water displaced by that body, that object. It is said to be Archimedes principle. Archimedes also proposed another principle. It is said to be principle of lever. Principle of lever is what? You know, you have also studied in the lower classes about this phenomena, about the principle of lever. There are three kinds of principle of lever. Three kinds of lever. First type, second and third type. Three things: fulcrum, effort and load. In all three types lever, in one case fulcrum will be in middle order, another case effort in middle order, and third case will be what? Load in middle order. It is said to be what? Principle of lever. Lever, it is a kind of simple machine in which you can use pulley, wedge. You have also studied in lower classes. These simple things. But I have also explained to Archimedes some information about Archimedes. Archimedes of mathematician, he was the top class of mathematician, who firstly discovered the pi and also contributed to the whole world. You know the value of pi, 3.14, or pi is equal to 22/7. Hence, this was discovered by what? It was discovered by the Archimedes. Archimedes, who firstly discovered the pi. And I have also explained about the John Borden. Who was the John Borden? Number 6, John Borden. John Borden was American scientist. American scientist who firstly discovered about what? Transistor and superconductivity. Transistor and superconductivity. Transistor and superconductivity. John Borden was the USA or American scientist. अमेरिकन थे, मीन्स नेटिव कंट्री उनका अमेरिका था. He was American scientist, USA scientist, John Borden. But he discovered two things: transistor and what? Superconductivity. The phenomena of superconductivity. You know the background of transistor. It means how transistor can originate the first time after the discovery of semiconductors. But before the discovery of semiconductors, there are two things in the world. The two things are what? First thing is said to be what? Diode wall, and another thing is said to be triode wall. Before the discovery of semiconductor, the function, the work of diode wall was rectification. Means diode wall was used as a rectifier. Means it can convert alternating current into direct current, AC into DC. As well as triode wall. What is the function of triode wall at that time? Triode wall, the function of triode wall, what? It means triode wall acts as a transmitter in the radio communication at that time. It means, what is the main principle by which diode and triode wall work? Diode wall means it contains only two walls, two plates, cathode and anode, hence it is said to be diode wall. Its function was rectification, AC into DC. While the function of triode wall was what? Triode wall, it contains the three walls, cathode, grid and anode. Three things. When electric current was passed into the triode wall, firstly the cathode plate heated, emit electron, they pass to the grid toward the anode plate. It has the three pins, base, emitter and collector. As well as on the basis of diode wall, at modern age, after the discovery of semiconductor, silicon, germanium, selenium, etc., these are said to be semiconductors. And the name of semiconductor, firstly also explain about the superconductivity at conductor after finishing this topic. After discovery of semiconductor, silicon, germanium, selenium, then the discovery of PN junction diode and transistor was possible. The function of PN junction diode was same or similar to the diode wall. Because diode wall also convert AC into DC, PN junction diode also convert AC into DC. Alternating current converted into direct current. It divided into two parts. Half wave, it is used as rectifier, means AC into DC. It also converted into two parts. Full wave rectifier and half wave rectifier. As well as transistor, what is the function of transistor? Transistor also used as the transmitter, receiver, as the filter circuit, etc. The various types of utilization of transistor. But I have also explained about the superconductivity. What is superconductivity? To explain about the superconductivity, I have also firstly explained about the various kinds of conductors. Number first, good conductor or conductors are what? Those conductors which are, it means those conductors from which electric charges or electric current which can easily pass from the one into another end is said to be good conductor or conductors. Example, all metals, liquid metal, mercury, and the base conductor of what? Silver is the base conductor of electricity, then after gold, then after copper, another metal. Why silver is the base conductor of electricity? Because silver contains the maximum number of electrons compared to the gold or copper. Hence it is said to be base conductor. Another conductors, all the metallic conductors said to be good conductor. Number second, bad conductor insulators. What are bad conductor insulators? What? Bad conductor insulators are those conductors from which It means electric current cannot pass from one into another end. It is said to be what? It is said to be bad conductor or insulator. What are example of bad conductor? The example of bad conductors are what? Distilled water, dry wood, dry plywood, mica, porcelain, plastic, rubber, and various kinds of the polymers, plastic polymers, etc. These are said to be the example of bad conductor insulators. Number third, it is said to be good conductor, bad conductor of the semiconductor. What are semiconductor? How can you define it? Semiconductors are those conductors which are neither good conductor of electricity nor bad conductor of electricity. It is said to be semiconductor. What are examples of semiconductor? The example of semiconductor, silicon, germanium, selenium, etc. These are examples of semiconductor. But at last point, superconductor. Superconductors are those conductors which have the zero resistance. It means once you pass the electric current through the through the superconductor, the electric current can flow till weeks, months or years. And these are used in supercomputers and cryogenic engine, the circuit of cryogenic engines. Mercury will convert it into into superconductor at about 5.6 kelvins temperature, as well as the various kinds of superconductors on global level. Barium oxide, barium oxide, it is said to be what? It is said to be superconductor. It is alloy type of a superconductor. But some superconductors are built up by means of nanotubes, by means of Buckminster fullerenes. It is the third isotope of carbon. First isotopes, graphite, diamond, and number third is said to be Buckminster fullerenes. It was discovered by Buckminster, hence it is said to be Buckminster fullerenes. Carbon 60, carbon 70, 90, these are the parts of the Buckminster fullerenes. Next, it is said to be what? Superconductor, and all these phenomena in which electric current can neither be lost through the superconductors. This phenomena is said to be what? Superconductivity. It is said to be what? Superconductivity. Next, name of next scientist I shall explain about the what? Henry Becquerel. Who was Henry Becquerel? Henry Becquerel, he was a scientist of France. And he also discovered the what? He discovered the spontaneous radioactivity. Discovered the what? Spontaneous radioactivity. Spontaneous radioactivity means how radioactive phenomenon can also arise at that time. Henry Becquerel first he discovered the phenomena of radioactivity and naturality, or you can say the spontaneous radioactivity. What is the breakdown of the discovery of spontaneous radioactivity? When first time Henry Becquerel take the some amount of the pitch blend is the ore of uranium. and also wrapped into the black papers or black cloths and kept it near the photographic film, photographic plate. After the some days, when he also observed the photographic plate, he found that some invisible rays, it may be also entered and crossed to the photographic plate. Then he was very surprised to know this phenomenon. He also declared that uranium ores means pitch blende also emits some invisible rays which can neither detected by the own eyes, but it can only detected by the Wilson cloud chamber. It is a radioactive detecting instrument. Hence, he also retired this inference, this conclusion that all radio, the nuclei of all radio elements, who also emit the invisible rays, and these rays were also said to be alpha, beta, and gamma. Alpha is said to be helium, it is positively in nature. Beta is said to be electron negatively in nature. And gamma is the chargeless, but its penetration and frequency and its velocity is just equal to the velocity of light. And it can penetrate the 30 centimeter of the iron block. All radio elements can only emit either alpha and gamma or beta or gamma. Alpha and beta, it must be not common in all radioactive element, but gamma is common in each radio element. It means after this phenomena, and the scientist whose name was Marie Curie, but after marriage, she also called Madame Curie. Same thing. Madame Curie, who also discovered, and her husband Pierre Curie also discovered the radium and polonium. It means radium and polonium discovered by Madame Curie and her husband. Then after this discovery, after the spontaneous radioactivity, I have also explained about what? Homi Jahangir Bhabha, who was the Indian scientist. Homi Jahangir Bhabha was the Indian scientist. I have also explained about the some Indian scientists, 2 or 3. They are the foreign scientists. Now I will also explain about the some Indian scientists. Homi Jahangir Bhabha. He was citizen of India. He is not present in ours. He had also suffered to death during the plane crash. But he was the great scientist of India. Homi Jahangir Bhabha, who also discovered the cosmic ray showers and cosmic radiation. Cosmic rays, showers, and cosmic radiation. Cosmic radiation. H.J. Bhabha. I shall also explain about the H.J. Bhabha or Homi Jahangir Bhabha. Who was the citizen of India, means he was the Indian citizen, who discovered the cosmic ray shower and cosmic radiation. What is cosmic ray? Cosmic rays, those invisible rays, those highly energetic, highly penetration, also contain high frequency rays who comes from the outer space. When it enters in our Earth atmosphere, it is split up into 2 forms: primary cosmic rays and secondary cosmic rays. These secondary cosmic rays contain 79% particle natures and 21% energetic nature. These cosmic rays, the origin of cosmic rays is now certainly defined by the Homi Jahangir Baba, the world scientist. It was firstly discovered by the Wilson, Alster and Getting. These rays are also present in our solar light, sunlight, because sunlight contains to 5 regions: invisible region, visible region, infrared region, short radio wave region, and long radio wave region. Invisible region is what? Invisible region is what? Invisible region contains 4 rays, 4 invisible rays in sunlight, in white light of sun. Number first is cosmic rays. When cosmic rays, I will also explain about the cosmic ray, then also explain to you. Means first region of sunlight, solar light content, it means the invisible region of sunlight. It contain to be what? Contain to be cosmic rays. Cosmic rays, highly penetrating, highly entering rays. Number second, part of the invisible region of the sunlight, it is said to be gamma rays. Same gamma, alpha, beta, gamma, which also emitted from the radioactive element. Alpha, beta, gamma. Gamma has a highly penetration and highly energetic. Its speed is just equal to the speed of light. The speed of light means 3 lakhs km per second or 10 to 10 per 8 meter per second. It means after the gamma rays, number third rays, which also belong to the invisible region of sunlight, it is said to be X-ray. X-rays were discovered by Röntgen. There are 2 types: soft X-ray and hard X-ray. Soft X-ray used in medical sciences for the fractures of bone, etc. And hard X-ray also used in scientific experiment. How it originated? When you strike the electron, beam of electron on the platinum of molybdenum toroid, then the X-ray is also formed, also emitted from that toroid. Number 4th ray of the invisible region is what? Number 4th ray is said to be what? Ultraviolet rays. You know the ultraviolet rays is what? Ultraviolet rays also present in the sunlight. But the ozonosphere means our ozone layer, O3 layer, which also situated above the 30 kilometer from the sea level. And after the 30 kilometer, its thickness is what? Its breadth is what? 25 kilometer. At the whole earth, ozone layer is covered to the whole earth, and the thickness is about 25 kilometer. But 2 kilometer layer had dissolved due to environmental or atmospheric pollution. This hole is also present in Antarctic region in South Pole, thousands square kilometer in diameter. And the ecologists of the world, all the ecologists and scientists also forecast about the ozone layer. When ultraviolet and infrared will also strike on the glacier region, either the north or south pole, the ice of the polar region will be melt quickly and the sea level will rise 70 meter, means 20 manzila building के बराबर. And all the cities which also located near the coastal areas such as Mumbai, New York, London, etc., it will be also dip down into the sea, also sink into the sea. Such as Dwarkapuri, it also present inside the sea. It is the most hot example for you. Then this ozone layer is said to be protected layer. It is protecting umbrella. It is said to be protective umbrella or protective blanket for the each plants and animals. It may be included to be humans on the earth. But 0.003% of ultraviolet, it comes on the earth. It also provides me vitamin D, calciferol. It is said to be calciferol. It means This invisible lesion in sunlight for invisible lesion. Next after the invisible lesion, next lesion number second lesion said to visual lesion. Visual lesion was discovered by Isaac Newton, who was the English scientist. Wave shore from violet to red, 7 colors. It was discovered by Isaac Newton. After the second region, third region is said to be infrared range. You know about the sun. Sun is composed of 3 layers: core, photosphere and chromosphere. You know all the light on the earth, whole earth, it comes from the middle layer of sun from the photosphere. While the core contains to be 1.5 to 2 crore degrees Celsius. Because all things which also present in the core of sun in the form of plasma state. I also explained to plasma state. It also present either in sun or another star. All the metal, iron, nickel, cobalt, etc. These are present in the form of plasma state. Means these are found in the form of cloud or the positive ions of plasma state. It means you also see the electric or from the space electricity. It also contains to the 1 crore volt. It is also present in the plasma state. Thunderbolt. Next, number 4th is said to be what? Number 4th. I have also explained about the infrared and photosphere. It means all the light comes from the middle layer of sun from photosphere, and the heating effect from the sun, it also present only due to infrared rays. Means all heating effect is only done by the infrared ray, which also present inside the sun. Next, number 4th region is what? 4th region is said to be short radio waves. Its frequency is less than upper waves. It was discovered by Hertz. It is said to be Hertzian waves. Number 5th region is said to be long radio waves region or Marconi waves. It was discovered by Marconi. It means all these regions in which invisible rays, in which cosmic rays, which is highly erratic, highly penetrating, discovered by A.J. Bhabha. Bhabha was the Indian scientist who was the founder of Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, whose work on the nuclear physics, his work in atomic physics as well as nuclear physics, and Bhabha was the founder of nuclear program of India. Or you can say Bhabha the father of nuclear program of India. Then after you can say about the J.C. Bose, India. Last 2 points of today's lecture. J.C. Bose. He was a citizen of India. He discovered the ultra short radio waves. Ultra short radio waves. He also discovered the ultra short radio waves or crystallograph and crystallograph. Crystallograph. Then after last point, I shall also explain the Indian scientist S.N. Bose in short. J.C. Bose, Jagdish Chandra Bose was the Indian scientist, was native land West Bengal. He was the professor in physics in the Presidency College of Kolkata. He was awarded by the various kinds of the prizes in India. He was a professor also in Cambridge in England. But his discovery was very important. He also discovered the ultra short radio waves. And by this discovery, who also proved all the plants show the all activity just like the human. by this ultra-short radio waves. He also discovered the crystallograph. What is crystallograph? It is a kind of instrument by which we can measure the growth of plant. It means all plant consist of the root system and shoot system. In root system, stem, node, internode, buds, branches, flowers, and active apical bud. When this instrument also added to the apical bud, after some date, we can measure the how many centimeter, millimeter plant can also take the growth during its development. He was discovered the crystallograph in this way. Next name of scientist, Indian scientist is what? The name of Indian scientist, S.N. Bose. It is the last lecture of today's lecture. I shall also explain to the S.N. Bose. Who was S.N. Bose? Satyendra Nath Bose. His full name was what? Satyendra Nath Bose. It is the last point of today's lecture. He was the citizen of India. He discovered what? Bose-Einstein statistic. Bose-Einstein statistics. And what? After the Bose-Einstein statistics, who also discovered the quantum statistics. And quantum statistics. It is the last point. S.N. Bose was the Indian scientist, the Satyendra Nath Bose, who discovered the unstable particle. I have also explained in former video about the S.N. Bose. Boson, name of the particle boson. He also discovered with the help of Higgs, he discovered the Higgs boson. Higgs boson, it was contributed by S.N. Bose with the Higgs. And Bose also discovered the Bose-Einstein statistic. Bose-Einstein statistic, he also discovered about this phenomenon in physics, and also discovered the quantum statistic. You know about the quantum theory, it is also given by the German scientist Max Planck. He also improved to that theory, also provide the quantum statistics in this way. Okay, thank you very much to everyone. I shall meet in the next video tomorrow. Okay, thank you.